Fascinating, isn't it? Cells of light, flashing, the mind, performing complex calculations, series, chains of decision making, neurons, different spots in the mind. Okay, so here I am in my space, just a few minutes before the injectors are going to arrive. I'm going to be opposing them, and then I've sort of planned out an if and then scenario for the Patient Liberation Act, which is what I am devoted to. That's my thing, one of my things, and that is the thing right now. The thing to talk about is that, so we'll see how it goes. Should be interesting. Hey, what's up?
Here for your appointment, and I've got your medication today.
And I have to oppose it. I've thought about it long and hard, and I'm not accepting this drug in my body anymore.
Okay, so you know from the conversations we've had in the past what I then have to do?
Yeah, I think so.
I have to let Dr. Odietti know, and then a warrant would be issued, and you have to go to hospital to get it?
Well, I'm just gonna lock my doors. I'm not gonna open my doors to the police. I'm just gonna lock them. I have a letter for them. Here's a copy of the Patient Liberation Act.
I have that.
This is an updated copy.
Amendments to it.
Yeah, it's all edited.
I just want this to go smoothly too.
Well, I don't want it to happen anymore.
I know you don't.
Because I'm the one suffering the damages. The Clopixol makes my muscles stiff. So I don't want my muscles to be stiff. I want them to be strong and able.
Okay.
So that's what I sense from this. That's why I need to spend time off of Clopixol to know how it's making me feel.
Do you understand that if you do take time away from Clopixol, that your mental health could decompensate a bit?
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see how it is. I mean, it was fine before. I mean, Dr. Calvin says that Clopixol has a stupefying effect. So I mean.
Is that your GP?
Yeah. So I don't want to be stupefied.
So what's gonna work then? What do you want to happen?
I want
Besides being off Clopixol.
I want the Clopixol to be optional. I want it to be offered to me as a possible treatment for my ailments. I don't want it to be forced upon me.
So because you're under extended leave, right? Then those are orders that you need to comply with. What the doctors have determined, right? On that
Extended leave. What does that mean?
Extended leave means you're involuntary under the BC Mental Health Act.
Yeah.
Right. So you would have received a copy when after your review panel that your extended leave was upheld. That would have requirements for you to follow while you're on extended leave. Otherwise, a director's warrant could be called. So with that, you still have the right to refuse, but I have to tell you then what the consequences would be, and that would be that a director's warrant would be called, and you would be pulled back to the nearest facility, designated facility, which is the hospital here, to get your medication. And then they would talk to you at that point whether or not they found that you can go home and things are good, or whether or not you might stay. That would be up to the doctors in the hospital. So I'm just informing you of what the process is.
Right. Okay, well, I'm going to write this down and I'm going to stick to my guns because I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. It caused me immense trauma. Last week I was in tears, or last injection I was in tears.
I recall, I read the notes, yeah.
And it's just not worth it. Like, why is this even happening? It doesn't make sense.
Anthony, can I ask you a question? Like, fair enough, and we're not going to hound you, right? So, I guess I'm just kind of curious, how do you see it playing out? So you've chosen to stand your ground, so
Yeah.
that's okay. We've kind of informed you of what the legal order is and what the consequences could lead to.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see this playing out when the police come? Like, you're talking about...
I'm going to remain calm. I'm going to remain calm, and I have a letter that I wrote. I'm going to put it on the wall, and they can read the letter. I hope they'll read the letter, but I'm not going to answer my door. I'm going to lock my doors. Last time I was violently snatched out of my own home by the police.
That's what I'm concerned
That's what
about.
I'm concerned about, yeah.
Just because you mentioned the word trauma, I guess the concern that I'm just wondering is for this decision not to lead to trauma.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes when the police come, and especially if there's some, there's a legal order in place,
they should-
in
it's-
effect, and then you standing your ground. Do you see what I mean? How it's like two oppositions and that force kind of working against each other?
Yeah, but that force is an illusion. There isn't even an us and them. Well, why are they even showing up at my door to handle this kind of a matter? It's a petty matter. They have bigger issues to deal with. Why are they dealing with me? I'm just a
Yeah.
the guy
I
who's
understand
refusing
what you're saying.
medication.
But they can't pick and choose what legal orders they follow or don't. And because it,
Well, they're not robots of the law.
but
they're
the
not.
Mental Health Act is a legal order and there's procedures to be followed.
Well,
and
governance is
they don't get
organic.
to pick and choose.
Governance is organic, so I'm going to stand by my words and my letter. I'm going to pin it to the wall,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hope and pray that they just think for themselves, and they embrace what I've written in the PLA, and something good comes out of it.
So the only other thing I can offer you at this point, Anthony, is if you're refusing the medication from me, fine. We can talk to our mental health liaison officer to make this a little bit more of an amenable interaction to get you to hospital. So it wouldn't be just general duty guys coming and forcefully taking you to hospital.
Well, yeah, that sounds nice, but I'm still not going to answer my door to that guy.
Okay, so even if we came back here with
Well, why would I? I don't want to get arrested. I don't want to get arrested and taken to the hospital. That's not supposed to happen. People are supposed to read my notes and think about how foolish it is to force medication on someone.
Okay.
Why would I agree with a medication that's being forced upon me? It needs to be an option. It needs to be something on the counter that's provided as an option to somebody who's suffering under the human condition. Not somebody who's diagnosed under the human condition and then diagnosed with schizophrenia or whatever they call it, and then go from there. That just causes an anti-vax culture. I'm not anti-vax.
No,
I'm
I
not.
understand that you
But
want
this
to
is
stop
causing an
that.
anti-vax culture because it's forced upon me.
But, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, the BC Mental Health Act with the extended leave, it does remove that right for you to say, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So you can tell me no, that you don't want the.
Well, that's the main argument of the
Right,
PLA.
right, and
That's the only thing that I disagree with, and it's a huge thing.
And I understand. your
Like,
point.
how do you take away someone's basic rights to choose what's going into their body? That's like shoving a steak down a vegan's throat.
And
Would
that-
you shove a steak down a vegan's throat? You wouldn't do that, would you?
I understand your point of view, and all we're saying, Anthony, is that because it is a legal order, our hands are tied. This is
Yeah.
legal legislation, and the police officer, their hands will be tied too. They have to follow through with it.
Well,
And I know you don't like-
let's not do that. Let's think about the law and let's change it. Why, if the law
That might
says
be
something
for us
ridiculous,
to hire like a different
That's beyond-
day, and
that's
that's
beyond
beyond
us,
us, what
right?
we can do, right? We are literally just following the orders. put in
it's
place
beyond
by
me
the-
too.
Yeah.
And that's what's so
Yeah.
crippling because I write this and I pray for it, but it's beyond me. I only have so many possibilities and ideas in my head. I'm limited, and I'm gonna do this because this is what I decided to do.
Yeah, I appreciate you being honest. The cool thing about this is we can't change the legal order. What we can do is you're being honest and we're being honest. And we can just part on that understanding.
Okay.
Okay? So you've made the choice and we've informed you of what the law is and kind of how this will unfold. But I do appreciate you being honest, and we'll leave it as that for now.
Okay. Well, thanks for swinging by and thanks for listening.
It's not that we don't understand your point of view, Anthony, it's just that our hands
Yeah,
are
we
tied
can't change
in terms
it.
of changing.
We're bound by law. So we'll leave it as that, because I don't think it's healthy for anyone to kind of just spin around and spin around. But you've made your choice, and please understand that then we have to follow through with the steps.
Is there any idea that you know when the cop or some officer will be coming?
No,
Unfortunately,
no.
So,
So
so I'm
we
going to be
just-
sitting on eggshells. I'm just going to lock my door.
Well,
Yeah,
and that was the
that's-
option that I wanted to give to you about us contacting our mental health liaison officer, that we would come over with him and do it, and get you there. That way it could be a little bit more.
Well, he can pick up the letter if he wants, but I'm not answering the door.
Okay.
I'm not answering the door.
Okay, then we'll just do it the regular way, and
I'll be under house arrest. I'm not leaving my home.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving my home. Doors are locked. My notes are there. These are my notes. This is not an in-person thing anymore. This is a letter-to-letter kind of a thing. And this is my legal standpoint. I hope it's respected. And And I'm not going to be violent, but I am going to be firm with locking my doors and not leaving the house. Yeah. I'm not leaving the house. The door's locked. The door's locked. I'm going to be very antsy in the yard. I don't trust anything now. This whole thing is making me lose trust in the system because the drug is forced upon me. So this is the effect that it's having on my mind, and it's not helping. It's never been helping.
It sucks because the way that you want to play this out, it's just so, it sucks because you're kind of locking yourself behind closed doors, and
Yeah.
you know, there's a whole life to live, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's all choices, and you know, you've been clear on your point.
Yeah. I don't really want to lock myself in my house, but
It's just a bummer to see that play out that way. That's all.
yeah.
And so I'm just hoping that when police do come, like I know you don't have to respect their decisions, but please be civil because we don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah.
Including yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Anthony, thanks for answering and just even telling us what's on your mind.
Okay.
Okay? Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, we'll go to the next step, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that went okay. I'm not sure if the police are going to come pounding on my door now or not, and I don't like the fact that there's a warrant issued for my arrest, but I'm not really a high priority. If they make me a high priority, I guess I'll just get taken in there and nabbed when I have to go to get groceries next, or I'll get somebody else to do my grocery shopping for me. Here's what I wrote. Dearest agents of the RCMP, something different needs to happen. I have written and bled into this plea becoming known as the Patient Liberation Act, or the PLA, for a change to the law here in British Columbia so that every individual reserves the right to reject any suggested type of medication. This article and proposal must not be ignored. You are not robots of some mindless regiment. You are each an important human being with profound, almost superhero-like powers. And it is my prayer that it will become your duty to protect individual citizens like me that abide by my new legal book. The Patient Liberation Act, not the Mental Health Act. The flaw in the Mental Health Act is the part that it says that medication can get forced on people. That's totally wrong. There should be no reason for any kind of medication to get forced upon anyone against his or her own personal will, so long as the individual is performing with acceptable expressions in a society. The PLA.